like a starting point, we've seen the big kind of shift from SEO to AEO. So how have you approached this shift as far as for Zumper and I would say capitalizing on this?
Yeah, similar to what we said before, like as a setup, and then kind of go into the more specifics. Zumper was one of the first ever plugins that went live on ChatGPT, and we were one of the first ever GPTs, which was kind of where plugins evolved to go live on ChatGPT. Neither of them yielded much traffic at all, but we learned a lot by doing it, and it's fun for our product team to experiment at like frontier kind of stuff. Where this really yielded, and a lot of you have probably seen this data, but we saw it internally, I think, very early, because we have millions of uniques a month, so we can see things change quite quickly. In October 2024, we suddenly started to see referral traffic from ChatGPT, and we thought, like meaningful, not like kind of a couple of visits a day. Like started to see like it would show up in our GA as like a meaningful new source, and we were like, maybe our GPT, the second version of our plugin, has started to take off. And then we researched it, and we're like, no, this is coming from core ChatGPT. No one has to download a plugin, download a GPT, or add it. It is coming from like organic rental queries. Didn't think much of it, didn't move any numbers too far, but we started to saw it. And then I think it was in the end of the first week of January 2025, it rocketed. And this was nothing Zumper did. ChatGPT changed the way their algorithm linked out and the way it cited brands. And all of the work we'd done had accidentally then positioned us very, very well for this world, where they internally, with no warning to any marketplaces that work with them, at least not to us, switched on referral links. And I would say this year, 2025, is we've seen 3 stages of this. The first few months of the year, our traffic was growing 20 to 30% a week on ChatGPT. It was ripping. At peak, it got to 6% of our SEO. Oh, sorry. I think it went from 0% to 6% of our total organic traffic. So that's meaningful for us when you have millions of monthly uniques. So ChatGPT became really big. Then in summer, they cooled it off. And I think a lot of marketplaces saw the same. They changed things. They didn't link out as often. They cited more often, but most people don't go off to the citations. And they reduced the number of brands they were referencing. Then phase 3 kicked in, where in the fall, they re-accelerated. So our traffic normally slows off in the fall and winter because the rental season cools off. We're currently growing on ChatGPT again because they've tweaked it again. And so it's been a bizarre year. I think we're around 4 to 5% now of our organic traffic is on ChatGPT, down from 6, but up from 0 where the year started. And I used to think we could get to like a quarter of our SEO traffic in ChatGPT by the end of next year. I still think that's possible, but it's all to pay for, and they change things on like a monthly basis. So I think this is the new battleground. ChatGPT is like 82% of the market, I think. So like we care about Gemini a lot because it will become Google search. Obviously, we care about like Perplexity and Claude, but really for this year in the 80-20 approach, it's been ChatGPT is the only one we care about, and it's become a meaningful traffic source for us.
It's definitely a huge opportunity and something that we're commonly discussing here. We've recently did a workshop on it in a little bit more detail. But as far as like when it comes to a SEO versus kind of AEO, are you seeing maybe any kind of interesting kind of I would say like maybe a better conversion or kind of quality with the conversion on that, since it is more kind of conversational search?
Yeah, interestingly not. I want to say yes, because you'd think that the referrals that come have been so much better qualified. They've asked so many more questions than just type. A classic kind of SEO search for us is LA upon for rent. They land on Zumper, they send a lead. Whereas on ChatGPT, instead of like 5 or 6 tokens or words on SEO, it's more like 25 tokens or words, which is like, hey, I want to live in LA. I've got 2 dogs, kind of a girlfriend, and I need a spare bedroom. Like, you'd think that would convert. We haven't seen that, interestingly. And what one hypothesis could be that it's a slightly younger user who's less committal, which outbalances the fact that it's a more specific search. I think that's what's going on. We're seeing more college kids come through who are still slightly less committal. They're still exploring kind of like the rental world. But it's been, it's not as, I think in e-commerce, you've seen it be significantly better converting. We haven't seen that, interestingly. Yet.